Hello, Instagram. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I normally do a little bit more kind of like formal, organized videos, but in 2019, one of my intentions is to live a more authentic existence. So I'm trying to embrace Instagram Live as a way to share my authentic self with people. So today, I want to do an impromptu video on the topic of emotional cutting and how that practice interferes with my spiritual growth and my witchcraft. Hello, Magic Done Right. So I'm in my car on my lunch break because I needed to remove myself from my work environment to come down from some of the super nasty feelings I was feeling. Hello, tarot analyst. So I have an anxiety disorder, and how that plays into my life is that sometimes I engage in a practice that my husband calls emotional cutting. And what he means by that is that sometimes I get in an emotional place where I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I can't process what's happening, or I don't have any control, or I have control, but I don't feel like I have the energy to take action steps to improve, my circumstances or whatever I'm feeling. So what I sometimes do is I dive into this negativity spiral where I acknowledge that I feel bad, and instead of taking steps to get to a better place emotionally and psychologically, I just engage in behavior that makes me feel worse. Almost like I want to feel bad. Like I get analysis paralysis, so I get kind of numbed by my anxiety and overwhelmed by everything around me. So I just dive into feeling shitty. And that, logically doesn't make a lot of sense. So there have been times and thankfully I do have a very supportive spouse. So my husband's known me for about half my life now, come fall. So he at one point confronted me about this and said, look, sometimes it feels like you have made the decision that you don't want to feel better right now. And I think that is a really important thing for all of us to think about. So, for example, nobody wants to feel bad, but there are days when, like I just described just now, where I saw the cliff of negativity and I just said, fuck it, I'm jumping off and I'm just gonna let myself or just dive into this ocean of negative, angry feelings. And then I had the sense to go ahead and take my lunch break and remove myself from my work environment. But did I go on a walk? Did I meditate? No. I went to Taco Bell and made myself sick on a bunch of tacos. I'm not going to tell you how many. So, yeah, now that I have a stomach ache, my emotional feelings don't seem quite the same priority because now I'm thinking about the physical thing that I did to myself to make myself feel bad. So again, the reason I'm talking about this is because I think it is extremely important whenever we are looking at situations we want to change or things that we need to heal from, to make the decision before we start that we want to feel more balanced. Because, like I said, to be honest, there are times when I just thrive off of those negative feelings. I get a rush from the anger, the anger and the negativity and the hostility that I just dive into makes me feel alive. I almost get a rush from it, and that is a horrible thing. I mean, that's just a horrible thing. I'm not trying to shame myself, but to be honest, that's not how I want to feel. Hello, young medium. So for an example, it's been kind of a conflict-filled day in my work environment. So I sent a text to my husband and said, sometimes I feel like humans are, this is literally what I texted my husband. I said, sometimes I feel like humans are a meat sack of impulses full of vile, venomous horseshit. And then I sent that text message and my husband was like, that's a terrible thing to say. You don't really feel that way, and lots of people are super nice to you. Hello, Hill. So, I thought about that, as I'm simmering on my Taco Bell binge that I use to handle my emotions, and I don't really feel that way about people. But the fact that I even went so far as to say that to somebody is something that I'm really trying to sit down and reevaluate about myself. So my point to talking about all of this is that if you find yourself in a negative place or in a bad thought space and you do what I did and you saw the cliff of negativity and you said, fuck it, I'm diving off of it, let's get angry, let's feel bad, I want to go for a ride today. If you get yourself in that place, I'm trying not to shame myself. I'm going out into the sunshine, try to soak up some of that positive energy, and I am going to try to, just sort of heal from my own feelings. But the very first thing I did once I sent that horrible thing about humanity, which I don't really believe because lots of people are super nice to me, is that I am going to make the decision that I want to feel better today. So my point to this rambly message is that if possible, before you engage in destructive behavior like the Taco Bell binge that I just went on and the hateful text messages that I sent my husband, stop for a second and ask yourself if this is how you want to feel right now. And if it's not how you want to feel right now, try to at least take a breath and do nothing for a second to see if some of those chemical impulses can come down, because depending on how you respond to it, like I did, I just kind of let my impulses drive the cart for about an hour until I was furious and had to walk out for a little bit. If, at any point, it's never too late to stop, take a breath, and ask yourself if this is how you want to feel right now. And I'm not actually sure because I'm not super familiar if you guys can see the messages, but Hill Thomas Massage says, yes, that pause is so helpful. And to be honest, that pause is all I need. When my husband sent me that message back and he said, I'm not judging you, but I don't believe that you really feel that way, I was like, shit, he's right. Like, I don't really feel that way. And why am I putting that negative, hateful spin out into the universe? So again, since 2019 is going to be my year of authentic living, and I know lots of you guys that I interact with on Instagram have some similar negativity and emotional spirals, I just kind of wanted to share my day with you, so that if you're in a place like that, or you see yourself in a place like that, don't shame yourself for however you responded to it, but just breathe. Try at any point in that process to disrupt the cycle and just breathe. Because if I had disrupted that cycle for myself, then maybe I wouldn't have a Taco Bell stomachache. So have a lovely day. I love all of you, and goodbye.